Mornings with Jaresha is a radio show and podcast here to equip, empower, and elevate you to the next level by helping you win your mornings and win your day with inspiration and motivation so you can wake, slay, pray, and take action. Today is a fabulous day to be great, have great, and do great. You just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. This show is for everyone from all walks of life who just simply want to feel empowered and motivated to take the next step. Now, let's get it. Let's go. Mornings with Jerisha begins now. Good morning, and welcome back to Mornings with Jerisha. It is such a great morning. It is a great morning. And let me tell y'all, how we have these really great ideas that we get in our mind, and a lot of us get these ideas and we do nothing with them. But I have been contemplating something for some time. And so I'm like, let me just try it out on the show. Let's see how it flows. Let's see if you all love it. Let's just see how it goes. So, if you're new to the Mornings with Jarisha show, this show was all about waking, praying, slaying, and taking action because we all need to feel inspired. We need to feel empowered. We need to make sure we're executing on our goals, our dreams, and walking into our purpose. And so, as I just, always just think about this whole executing on our goals, our dreams, and walking into our purpose. And the key thing that I share on the show all the time is how it's so important to ask ourselves questions and have that time to reflect. And so I was thinking, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just go for it. So I want to, starting today, really introduce you to what I'm thinking is going to be a new segment on this show where I share what I'm learning, what I'm loving, and what is empowering me. Now, this is important because as I share, each and every show, this is something that you can also begin to think about for yourself. And I promise you, it will empower you. So I'm still trying to figure out what to call this segment. Should I call it Breakfast Breakdown? Learning, loving, and empowering. Who knows? But, so more to come on that. But I was thinking, what am I really learning? Because I feel like we should be learning something every single day. So, what am I learning? What am I loving? What am I empowering? And I'll tell you, I mean, when you really sit down and begin to reflect and think about the answer to that question, your mind just goes to all different places. And not only that, but we want to be learning, we want to be loving and empowering every single day. So here is this breakfast breakdown this morning before I dive into what I'm actually going to talk about on today's show. What I am learning. This is so good because I feel like each day we have lessons. There are lessons that we sometimes fail to see, but when we do see them, it is just an amazing experience. So, yes, we all go through those difficulties and those struggles, but sometimes we have to really learn to take a step back and say, okay, how did I learn? Or what did how am I able to grow from it? And so I'll tell you that what I'm learning today is all about practicing being present. So I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in our busy lives and we lose sight of the present moment. So I'm learning, and when I tell you this is it's definitely a journey. It is a journey. It is something that I'm learning every single day. I'm learning to be fully present, to really cherish every moment, every second, and I think that how we do that and how I have really been very intentional about doing this is by active listening, by doing meditation, so mindfulness meditation, and even taking a few moments to just breathe. This helps me stay grounded because we know how busy our lives are, right? We're busy. I mean, our lives are so busy, busy, busy. Like we're all around here like busy bees, just constantly working, working, working. And, I know that I'm not the only one that's guilty of not being present. I have children. I have a husband. We have to be present in our relationships. We have to be present in, our businesses, those that have a 9 to 5. Like you have to be present in everything. And I feel like when we begin to try to multitask being present, if that makes sense, it is like we can't do it. So we have to be present and really focus on the moment. And I'm loving how it's just, just being present is really teaching me more about myself in relationships. So that is my learning. That is my learning moment. That is my learning breakdown for you. Now, as far as loving, what I am loving today is, and this changes, it changes every single day, but the one thing that I'm absolutely loving is my full focus planner. Now, listen, I have a digital planner, I have a hard copy planner, but today I am loving my full focus planner. You know how you just have an amazing, tool, book, notebook, whatever it may be. Mine is the planner. I have an amazing planner. I've had this planner for almost, no, actually, it's a year now. I've had it for a year now, and to me it has been one of those things, like, I love it at times, and then at times it's not getting used like it should. But I'm really, really loving it today because it's helping me stay organized. It helps me to lay out all of my plans, I mean, by the week, by the hour, by the day. And it really encourages me to be more intentional for setting my goals, and it helps me execute. And that's the key, right? It helps me execute and be productive because that's what we want to be doing. We want to be productive. We want to be executing on our goals, our dreams, and walking into our purpose. So if you haven't checked out the Full Focus Planner, the creator's name is Michael Hyatt, and I came across this planner. I think it was either on TikTok, Instagram, it was YouTube, or something of that nature. And I was like, "Ooh, this is a good planner." And I have the actual binder system. And so, if you are a planner person, planner girl, planner guy, guess what? You should definitely check out the Full Focus Planner. And, I'm not trying to just, I'm not getting paid to say this, but I love it. And, what happens when you love something, you definitely want to share it with someone else. So that is what I'm absolutely loving today is my Full Focus Planner. It goes with me everywhere, and it's just easy enough. And I utilize it with my digital planner as well, but I'm really, really loving that. And so the final thing that I'll mention before I jump into actually the topic for today is, what's empowering me. What is empowering me today? And I'll tell you, this has been an empowering or empowerment journey for me. So it hasn't just been today because of how long it's taken me to actually get through this. But there is a book that is truly empowering me, and it's called Rich as F. F in as in, the cuss word, and it's by Amanda Francis. And I really, really love the way Amanda frames money and prosperity. And she just gives it a different perspective. And to me, it's breathtaking. So she reminds me and all of us really to harness the power of intention and positive thinking that extends to our financial life. And so I am loving it. I listen to it on Audible. And so as I'm out traveling, I'm listening to it. I'll be honest with you, when I'm at the house, I am not listening to Audible. So that's one of the reasons why I'm still trying to get through this book. I've been listening to it now for probably a few weeks. And so I'm almost finished with the book, but I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving it to the point where there are some times where you listen to books on Audible and you're like, I absolutely have to get a copy, a hard copy of the book. Know that this is one of those books. But so that is my I guess my breakfast breakdown of what I'm what I'm learning, what I'm loving, and what's empowering me. Now let's really talk about what I'm, going to talk about today, and that is procrastination. I mean, we all struggle with procrastination. I feel like that's something that kind of goes hand in hand with executing on our goals, our dreams, and walking into our purpose. And so, Mark Twain, I think it was, said that the art of keeping up. That procrastination is the art of keeping up with yesterday. Um, and I really think that's an interesting perspective. So, when we think about procrastination and how all of us struggle, and this here we go talking about struggle, and maybe that's a part of our struggle bus and why we're on the struggle bus. But we have to really understand, why. Like, what is the root cause of your procrastination? Procrastination is, often the fear of success. People procrastinate because they're afraid of success. And that is a quote by Dennis Waitley. And the quote actually says, people procrastinate because they are afraid of success that they know will result if they move ahead now. Procrastination is a barrier to achieving the greatness. And so when we recognize that, or actually we need to recognize that. I shouldn't say when we recognize it, we need to recognize it, because I feel like when we do recognize it, we start to look for ways on how we can stop procrastinating. But let's talk about reasons why we procrastinate. So, one is the waste of time. So when we put off task, right? When we put off tasks, we waste valuable time that could have been used to help you improve, to advance you on your goals. And then we have to understand that greatness rarely happens overnight. It is about the consistent dedication and effort that we're going to put in. So when we procrastinate, we're wasting time. When we procrastinate, we miss opportunities. The longer you wait to do something, the higher the chance that the opportunity, whatever that opportunity is, will pass you by. So, why are we missing or wanting to miss those opportunities? We have to make sure we, really look at every opportunity as a opportunity for success, an opportunity for success in many different areas of our life. But we have to really begin to stop looking at why we were procrastinating and stop procrastinating. Quit undermining your road to greatness. That's what happens when you miss, when you really don't look at and jump in on, and you take those opportunities. When you miss those opportunities, you are undermining your road to greatness. And y'all know how I feel about greatness. I feel like greatness is within every last one of us. So we have to make sure we're going to do what we're supposed to do in order to unleash that greatness, and to keep unleashing that greatness, so that we're on that road for success, and then we receive everything that we desire, deserve. And so when we procrastinate, we remain stagnant, right? We remain stuck. So instead of growing and advancing, we're stuck in the same place. Who wants to be stuck in the same place? I don't know about you, but I know sometimes I have a hard time just standing or, being in one place. I feel like I have to get up and move around. Even when I'm at, my desk at the office, I'm like, let me stand up and move around. So why would we want to continue to feel stuck in the same place? instead of growing, instead of advancing. Procrastination is doing that to you. But again, we have to recognize this. Like I can tell you this all day, every day long. However, you have to recognize this for yourself in your own life and know that when you procrastinate, you're increasing stress. We often will delay tasks, which creates what? A backlog of work. We position ourselves or put ourselves in this position to increase stress because we're not doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. And guess what is affected by that? It affects you. It affects your wellness. It affects your health. It affects you and stops you from reaching your greatness. So let's really look at this procrastination thing in our lives and figure out how we can do better, because I don't know about you, but I don't like anything that's going to inhibit my learning and growing. I don't like anything that is going to um, limit me, right? I don't want my opportunities to be limited. And so, if we don't want opportunities to be limited, we have to do something different. We have to really look at this procrastination thing and how it's stopping us from learning. It may be stopping you from learning new skills or expanding your knowledge. It's stopping you from doing the things that you need to be doing. And the thing is, it's so crazy because I can tell you how many people I've heard say, I struggle with procrastination. Yeah, I'm a procrastinator. Okay, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about your procrastination problem? Because honestly, it is a problem. It is a problem that there is a solution. However, you have to do something about it. What are you doing about your procrastination problem? And know that most of us do have a procrastination problem. And the funny thing is, we're so quick to admit that we have a procrastination problem. But how many of us are actually doing the work to overcome procrastination in our life? So I really feel like when it comes down to procrastination, we have to understand the emotion that is behind procrastination, and before we can even begin to overcome it. And so sometimes, and I say sometimes very lightly because it's really probably more often it's sometimes our emotions um, is attached to the procrastination. Like that's why we're procrastinating. So whether it's a fear of failure, if I can get it out this morning, a fear of failure, or maybe it's perfection. Being a perfectionism. I mean, being a perfectionist or perfectionism, that is the reason as to why that emotion that's attached to procrastination, or we're feeling like we're not motivated or feeling overwhelmed. A lot of us are feeling overwhelmed. And so when we have that feeling, that's what happens is that emotion then triggers the procrastination. Like we don't want to do it. We have this fear. We don't want to do it. We don't want to fail. Guess what? We're gonna keep pushing it off. We want it to be perfect. So guess what? We're gonna keep pushing it off. We're not motivated. Oh, I am not motivated. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. So guess what? It's not getting done today. It's gonna be done maybe tomorrow or maybe the next day. We feel overwhelmed because there's so many things that we have to do. So guess what? I'm just not gonna do anything. And that's not okay. We have to recognize these emotional triggers, right? And once we recognize those emotional triggers, we can begin to, work on how we can overcome procrastination. So I think that we have to really look at a few different things. And so one I already mentioned is we have to, really understand the root cause of why we're procrastinating. Two, we have to master the art of starting. Now, that is just powerful in itself. How can you master the art of starting? I love quotes. So there's a quote by Picasso that says, "Action is the foundational key to all success." And I love talking about action. That's hence why I talk about executing our goals, our dreams, and walking into our purpose. And guess what? It requires action. That's what I mean when I'm talking about executing. That means it requires you to do something. not to just talk about it, but for you to do something about it. But how can we really look at this mastering the art of starting? So we know that procrastination, it hinges on like we're dreading, and so because we're dreading to even start, we we um we go through the emotions that I just mentioned. So we go through those emotions, and we just don't want to start. So first I would suggest, look at your emotions that's attached to it. What is the emotion attached to it? I mentioned a few. Are you overwhelmed? Are you is there a fear, some kind of fear that's there? Are you not feeling motivated? What is the why are you feeling that way? Once you do that, then you can begin to look at, okay, how can I jump in and really start? How can I master the art of starting? And honestly, the solution here is to break it down. Break whatever it is that you have to do down into smaller, manageable chunks, and simply start. Just do it. Doing so gives you the momentum and propels you towards success. Now, this is really is really something to me, because I think we all have. I've had my own moments of struggling with procrastination, and it, for whatever reason, it may be different tasks, it may be different things that we just, it's, I don't want to do it, I don't feel like it. So guess what? I'm gonna push it off till tomorrow or next week. And instead of us doing that, if we would just take a moment and say, okay, I don't feel like doing this. Why? Why don't I feel like doing this right now? Deal with that why, and then begin to say, you know what, no, and I mentioned this on the show before, and where I've talked about the book, and I can't think of who wrote it right now, but Eat the Frog, and how we have to just eat the frog, quit pushing off tasks that you need to get done. When I tell you there are so many resources at our fingertips, there's so many resources at our fingertips. We have to utilize our resources. I feel like it's just, we're in a day and time where there's so many different resources that we're not utilizing, and it's a problem. However, if you're struggling with anything, if you're struggling with procrastination, if you're struggling with time management, if you have any kind of struggle that is keeping you on the struggle bus, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to figure things out and find a resource that can help you. But you have to take action. You have to start. You have to start the process. So this whole mastering the art of starting is really huge, it's powerful. And I feel like, I know that I've had to push myself, I've had to empower myself. And I feel like hopefully today, with me sharing all this, it empowers you to look at your own procrastination struggle bus and start to do something different. And so we also have to embrace imperfection. um with this one, my goodness, there is a saying that says, have no fear of perfection, you'll never reach it. So there is, like, you stop being thinking you have to be perfect, because guess what? You don't. Before I actually launched my businesses, I actually, that was where I lived. When I tell you, I really felt like everything had to be perfect before it launched. The website had to be perfect. Everything had to be perfect. And because of that, it got delayed. It got pushed off. You know, so I know firsthand on how it feels to not move because of, we have to, because of that perfection, but that perfectionist, being a perfectionist. Guess what? That's something that I had to learn. I understand that it was a misconception. I had to learn my way through that. And now I empower, I coach, I train other people on how you cannot live in that space feeling like it has to be perfect, because it's going to create procrastination in your life. And many times it's in more than one area of your life. So, procrastination often stems from the fear of us making those mistakes. So we have to understand that mistakes are not roadblocks, but they're stepping stones towards growth and towards learning. And so here's what I'm going to go back to mastering the art of starting, because just do it. Just do it. Now, I'm not saying that we have to just put things out there any kind of way, because that's not what I'm saying. But sometimes we change things several times before we even decide to launch or put anything out there. Just know that this procrastination journey, this procrastination struggle, this procrastination problem is so real for so many of us. And so our journey to conquer procrastination isn't one that's going to, come without obstacles. But we have to have an understanding of the emotional triggers. We have to master the art of starting. We have to, really accept imperfection. In Because we know that it's going to be a challenge, but guess what? We have to do it. So we want to get off that struggle bus. We want to get off that struggle bus. And so as we come near to a close, I want us to remember the wise words of Martin Luther King Jr. And that is, you don't have to see the entire staircase just to take the first step. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to see the entire staircase just to take the first step. Now, to me, this quote really just is the essence of overcoming procrastination, about taking action, regardless of how small. We have to initiate a process that draws us closer to our goals. So face your fears, embrace imperfect action, and start the process. You know, every masterpiece started with a simple imperfection action. But you have to understand that you have the power to create. You have the power to create. So, yes, procrastination can become it can be that, thorn in our side, and we recognize and know that we're procrastinators. However, it's up to you. It's up to you. You have to begin to take the steps towards your success. I know that you're capable, you are effective, but you just have to start. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to overcome procrastination by taking imperfect action. I hope you're ready to execute on your goals, your dreams, and walking into your purpose. Let's get it. Let's go. Thank you for listening to the Mornings with Jaresha show. Follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube at Jaresha Moore. Email Jaresha at empoweredonpurpose.com and text 937-938-6373. And have a great day on purpose.